right, we are live. First time we've ever, Becky, you're the first person, by the way. So, first podcast we've ever done live, ever.
Are you serious?
Inaugural live podcast.
First.
You are. It's fantastic. Awesome. I appreciate it. So for the live folks, thank you if you're joining, but also for the folks that are going to listen to this later, a little different format. You can see why we're live at the NCPA convention. Rebecca is with us. She is the Senior Director of Strategic Innovations and Long-Term Care Division within NCPA.
That is correct.
All right, great. I got that right. Check done. One. The first thing I wanted to get into is just like a little bit of your story. You're a pharmacist by training. You just told me earlier this is your, did you say 35th?
Over 30.
Over 30, okay. Over 30 NCPA conventions you've been a part of. So like, Can you tell us a little bit about the journey to Senior Director here over at the LTC division of NCPA?
I grew up working in independent community pharmacy. I was in high school. Decided that pharmacy was for me. So from that point forward, independent pharmacy was for me. Okay. And after pharmacy school, I practiced in independent community pharmacy for about a decade. So my passion for long-term care started early. And then I went from the director of the Virginia Pharmacists Association for about a decade. And from there, I was the executive vice president of the National Alliance of State Pharmacy Associations.
That I didn't know.
Yes. And then I joined the NCPA team in November of 2023.
Okay.
So I've been with NCPA for about a year.
Yeah.
But started coming to NCPA shortly after I started practice.
Oh, wow. That's so great. First of all, it's been a great conference. Really appreciate you. You probably can't walk 6 feet without getting pulled in for a conversation, which I could appreciate. I think I saw you yesterday, but you got here on time.
I got here on time. It was hard. I had to go later.
Right, yeah, I'll get to you. Yes. So this will probably be a 25, 30 minute.
I probably lost a couple of friends actually on the way here. I'm gonna have to do something about that.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll make it up to them. Tell them come see me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the renewed focus I feel like that you've had, or that NCPA has had on the LTC side of the business. And so can you discuss that a little bit? I feel like it's been a little bit of a renewed focus, and can you discuss that and where you see your pharmacy and your member group participating in that?
You've picked up the digest that was released yesterday in the exhibit hall. And if you haven't, you need to pick up the digest.
I will. I'll immediately do that.
I immediately go, as soon as we're finished, go pick up the digest. The digest will show that 52% of our members are doing some type of long-term care. So if NCPA is not paying attention to what's going on in long-term care, shame on us.
Sure. Makes sense.
So absolutely, we have the division absolutely focuses on everything long-term care, from our large skilled care closed door facilities that are doing and have been doing thousands of beds, to down to those that are doing long-term care at home, onesies, individuals, and all of the needs that they have in between. There are different technology needs that they have. There's different education needs that they have, but what's the common thread that goes through them is that they're all long-term care, and they all have patients that meet those same long-term care qualifications. They're patients that would otherwise be in a facility. You're taking care of them as a long-term care patient no matter where they are. And so we've seen an explosion of long-term care at home, absolutely, but our focus is very, very diverse, both in our advocacy as well as our education.
A little more holistic. You ended with the education.
Yeah.
I was looking through all of the different resources. What are some of the highlight ones that you feel like everyone's taking advantage of? I even saw the one thing before you started. I even saw that you have agreement templates for people. How many times I see hundreds of pharmacies install a pharmacy system all the time that I'm going to go do this, and they're like, but man, I'd love to get a template or an agreement template because it's my first time interact, maybe getting a assisted living facility or something like that. Can you talk through a little bit of the different resources that are available?
Yeah, thanks for asking. And we really don't have the hours that it would take. But I'll try to hit all the highlights.
That's okay. That's all right.
Okay.
So
yeah, I know. Yeah,
we got like 25 more minutes.
We're fine.
We're fine.
No, we have, because we've been doing this for, decades now, we have amassed a lot of resources. We've listened to our members and say, what are your pain points? And one of the pain points is, I've got a facility, but, I need an agreement. So we have had attorneys that have created templates for us where you can certainly customize and fill in the blanks. They give you a good starting point.
Sure.
For your facility, for your pharmacist consultant agreements, for all sorts of backgrounds that you, resources that you may need when you're just getting into business, for ideas that you may be asked to come into a facility and do education for the residents, or in-service for the staff. Our members are doing that all the time. So one of the things that's really cool about our members is that they share the resources that they develop, and we will collaborate those and share those among our members. And it's just a really wonderful thing. I heard yesterday one of our members say one of the things that they loved about coming to an NCPA conference is that it was like coming home. It was like a family reunion. And that, our members share with each other. And one of the ways in which they share is through the division, and we do share a lot of resources. Some of them are developed by attorneys, so that you have legal resources that you can have to start you out if you have business resources that you need. But also there's some just common sense presentations that you might want to go in and to do an in-service for a facility.
Oh, okay, cool. I noticed the workshops too. Y'all had, I think y'all had a workshop prior to here.
We did.
I think y'all do those at least twice a year, if I remember.
We do. So we have a business of long-term care workshop that we do several times a year. And it's fairly intensive. It's 2 days, 2 long days. But it's for individuals that are either thinking about getting into long-term care or already in long-term care, but they want to grow their business.
Okay, hone some skills or...
Exactly. And it's interesting because, the majority of the people that come to those are already doing some type of long-term care, but they really want to step up their game. And our participants say they learn almost as much, not as much, but almost as much from each other in the break. Peer to peer. And it is that intimate setting. They're usually smaller classroom size. And it is really learning from each other, role playing with each other, getting in small groups and doing problem solving together. It goes through everything from how to find business in your own community. We make them look up their own zip code and find out what resources are there, both with social services as well as other facilities in their area, or what they can do as far as partnering in their own communities, to what type of technology vendors they may need might help grow or help them become more efficient in their long-term care business as they go from perhaps having 40 or 50 beds to 250 beds, or going from 250 to 1,000 beds. What we find is that you always have to look and reevaluate how you're doing things to make sure that you're doing it in the most effective and efficient way possible if you're going to be on top of your game.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot. I can say this. I know for a fact that sometimes if you can just get enough smart people in a room together, that not only are they going to learn from the content, but they just start to bounce ideas off each other. Same way with our conference, this conference too, just here in general, whether at the workshop or here. I feel like everybody I've talked to has been I've learned so much from name a pharmacist, name a pharmacy, something like that in some way. So I totally get that. I want to shift to legislative a little bit.
Okay.
What's right now, I guess, the LTC division, your focus or your maybe top priority, if you want to call it that, or just other focus on legislative efforts from your side?
Well, I think we're multifaceted. Certainly we have had since 2019, a huge effort on long-term care at home, getting long-term care at home officially recognized as well as adequately compensated at the same rate that you have other long-term care rates. That is critically important. I don't want to lose the advocacy in telling you the rest of them, so I'll come back, put a pin in long-term care at home and why that's important.
Okay.
Also, just our ability for Medicaid and Medicare finish the fight. Mm-hmm. Absolutely critically important to all of our pharmacies, but including our long-term care pharmacies. On our Medicaid side, to be able to be reimbursed at NADAC plus a dispensing fee that is a surveyed dispensing fee. And dispensing fees are higher at long-term care. We need to make sure that they're long-term care dispensing fees.
They should be commensurate, whatever that word is,
right,
with the lift and skill required, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, totally agree.
And then on the Medicare side, we've got to have reasonable and relevant contract terms.
For sure.
And so it's essential that we finish the fight. And so you have seen Finish the Fight
all over this convention.
All over this convention.
Yep.
And making sure that we're engaging our patients caregivers and families to help us finish the fight is a huge advocacy priority for us. And then we've got the IRA implementation,
right,
and what the impact that's going to have on our long-term care pharmacies is at least twice as much, if not amplified 3 or 4 times as much as it is on our retail customers.
Yes, that's been a huge topic.
It's going to impact all.
Even for the peer groups you guys work with. I saw that you worked with SCPC and some others that just all aligned interest fighting for that as well.
Absolutely, and it is going to be a huge lift as they roll out the IRA. And in working with the Senior Care Pharmacy Coalition at the American Society of Consultant Pharmacists as well, to go, how are our long-term care pharmacists going to be able to handle this? How is it going to be implemented? And what do we need to do as an association to help our members? Our team is the best. Absolute best.
I can vouch for that. I feel like I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Good. I have to beat you up if you did.
Agreed. Yeah. You want to take the pin out of long-term care at home now?
Yes, let's take the pin out.
Let's go a little deeper on that thread.
So think about this. There are 10,000 Americans turning 65 every day in this country. In less than 15 years, we're going to have more 80-year-olds than we have 20-year-olds.
Oh, I haven't had somebody put that. I haven't seen anybody put it that way to me specifically.
We can all say the new, the new 80 is 20, is 80 or 70 or whatever. We're living longer, whatever. 80's not that old, and whatever.
Yep.
By 80, you're going to probably need a little bit of help, if not by the time you're 90.
Yeah, for sure. Let's be real. Longevity research has not gotten that far yet.
Exactly.
Not saying it won't.
Okay. If we're going to have more 80-year-olds than 20-year-olds, who's going to be taking care of them? Our pharmacies.
Yeah.
Our pharmacists are going to be more important than ever before because they have multiple chronic diseases. They're going to be on multiple meds. And unfortunately, they'll probably be homebound. And there are not going to be enough facilities.
There's not enough infrastructure built for that. Like that I've read up on pretty well, and it's not being constructed even being constructed at all at the rate that
and the baby boomers do not want. They're not 100%. They're not a generation that's going to want to go to a facility.
Right.
They're not the silent generation that's going to accept that.
Yeah.
They're not. And so what are we going to do? We're going to figure out how to take care of them at home.
Yeah.
And so it's important that we figure out long-term care at home and that we do it right. This is not just sending a package through the mail to someone's home.
Right, 100%.
This is a patient who would otherwise meet every criteria to be in a facility that happens to be living at home. And I want to make that clear, and I want to make sure everybody hears me.
There is a clear difference.
It is a long-term care resident that is at home. That means they are on multiple chronic diseases. They are taking multiple medications. They have at least 2, or probably more, activities of daily living or challenges in independent living, that they are homebound. They are not individuals that are walking into your store, and that their medications are packaged, and that you are coordinating their care with their prescribers, and that you are reconciling their meds, and that you are on a monthly basis managing their meds. And that level of care not only takes coordination and it needs support from you guys because it needs technology.
Yeah.
But it also needs to make sure that we advocate that we get adequately compensated
Yeah,
for
all
it.
of those services are not the same as me getting an antibiotic. It's just not.
It's
They're
not.
literally just different, right?
It's
so
not.
it makes total sense.
Yep. So that's the pin.
That's the
That's
pin.
a pin in it.
Pin done. We're good. The other question I had for you, we don't have a ton of more time, I don't believe. I'm looking to everybody. We're good. Okay, I got 6 minutes. I just wanted to get, from your perspective, like a lens on like the next 2 to 3 years of how you see a little
It's gonna
bit,
be fun.
a little bit of this
Yeah.
like LTC, whether it's at home or even like through the IRA and some of the, like, how do you see either services changing in pharmacies, what they're leaning into, what other things they're doing to either pivot or deal with? Like, I'll let you discuss. I'd like to see your perspective on that.
Well, you know, I believe we're gonna rely even more heavily on our technology partners. AI is going to play a bigger and bigger role. We're going to need to do things more efficiently, more cost effectively, more organized, because our volume is going to go up. These patients are going to need a place to go, and they're going to come to our independent community pharmacies. We're going to be doing more services. So
Okay.
We're already doing immunizations. More and more conditions are going to be able to be treated through immunizations and prevented by immunizations. So check that,
Yep.
more immunizations.
Yep.
We're going to be doing more testing and treating. So more point of care testing in facilities and at home.
Yeah.
We're
I
going
can
to
see you have a breakout somewhere, something like that happens in facilities and things like that.
absolutely.
Like, yep, yeah, makes sense.
Absolutely. We're going to be doing more remote patient monitoring.
Okay.
And that's just going to be an extension of our long-term care at home as monitoring these patients at home. And it's going to be collaborating care with all of the other home care services that they need. It is going to be exciting. I think that the pipeline of solutions for our members through the pharmaceutical pipeline is huge. I think the pipeline with our technology partners is huge. And I think the willingness of the pharmacists to embrace and grow their practice is there. And it's going to be...
You got a whole conference full of them. Yeah.
It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's
going to be good.
Well, that's so good. So I have...
Technicians. Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's going to explode. We
just had someone ask about tech in here and things like that.
We could not do it without our technicians. I don't know how. And Meredy, I am so sorry that it was not an afterthought. It was not an afterthought, Meredy. Shout out.
We'll cut it the right way
Yeah.
in post. In post. We'll fix it in post. Even though this is live, but whatever.
That's okay.
No, I agree. So I guess before I let you leave anywhere, I've got two other pieces here. But one of the last ones is like, before we close, is there anything you want to say to like how can, I'll just say either your membership or other pharmacies in general, like can either help with some of this, like finish the fight effort or any of that stuff? What's your recommendations there of like where to focus some energy?
You know, in all seriousness, it's hard out there.
Yeah.
It's hard. And I don't want my positive energy and enthusiasm and laughter to take away the seriousness of how hard it is. But you've got a really strong partner. We are working every day to try to make independent community pharmacy strong. And we believe that the future is bright. We need all of the pharmacists out there to just engage your patients and to help us finish the fight.
Okay. Well, good stuff. Last thing. All right, this is a little more like all great message. Again, look at NCPA's website. There's tons of ways of getting involved from that perspective. So I don't want to close without hitting on that resource as well. But I always do prescribables. So this is what I always do. I do it as every podcast. So like I ask people all the time, what are you watching, reading, listening to, doing? Had someone talk about pickleball like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So like, what are you doing that you think any other like listener or watcher would be into? I guess. It can be fun. It can be work related. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, as often as I can, I get a walk on the beach.
Oh,
absolutely.
That sounds. Yeah.
It just is good for the soul.
Therapeutic.
Good for the soul.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That would be what I would prescribe.
Prescribe a walk on the beach. I love it. Well, thank you so much again for being here. All right. We'll see everybody.
Awesome.
Bye.